Cardi B and Stefan Diggs left in tears after what happened to their baby. The world woke up to heartbreak the morning the news quietly began to ripple through fan circles. No flashy announcement. No viral live stream. Just a heavy silence, broken only by whispered concern and tearful speculation. Those closest to Cardi B and Stefan Diggs knew something was terribly wrong. For weeks, the couple had been glowing. Private smiles. Soft laughter behind closed doors. The kind of happiness that doesn't need to be posted to feel real. Their baby had become the center of everything, late-night check-ins, hushed conversations, and a future they were carefully building together. Then, everything changed. A night that turned their world upside down. It started like any other night. Calm. Quiet. Almost peaceful. Cardi had just finished rocking the baby to sleep, humming softly, her voice barely louder than a breath. Stefan stood nearby, watching, phone forgotten in his hand, heart full. But within hours, unease crept in. The baby stirred. Then cried. Not the usual cry, the kind that instantly makes a parent's chest tighten. Cardi knew immediately. Her instincts screamed before her mind could catch up. "Something's wrong," she whispered, already standing. Stefan didn't hesitate. Shoes on. Keys grabbed. No words needed. The drive felt endless. Tears in the hospital hallway. Under harsh white lights, reality hit them hard. Doctors spoke calmly, carefully, but every word felt like a punch. Tests. Waiting. More waiting. Cardi clutched Stefan's hand so tightly her knuckles turned white. Her bravado, her larger-than-life confidence, gone. Replaced by fear. Stefan, usually unshakable on the field, sat frozen. His head bowed. His shoulders trembling. When the doctor finally returned, the room went silent. Their baby was facing a serious medical scare, sudden, unexpected, and terrifying. Not something they could have prevented. Not something they could have seen coming. Cardi broke down. Not the dramatic tears fans knew, but quiet, soul-crushing sobs. The kind that come from deep inside when a mother feels helpless. Stefan pulled her into his chest, his own tears falling freely. For once, there was no strength left to perform. Just raw emotion. A mother's guilt, a father's fear. In the days that followed, Cardi barely slept. She replayed every moment in her head. Did I miss something? Was it my fault? Stefan tried to reassure her, but he was fighting his own demons. Alone in the hallway late one night, he finally broke, hands on his face, tears soaking into his palms. "I can't lose my baby," he whispered to no one. That was the moment a nurse gently placed a hand on his shoulder. No cameras. No fans. Just a father in pain. Fans sensed the pain. People noticed the silence. No posts. No jokes. No music teasers. No game hype. Fans felt it before they understood it. Something was wrong, and for once, the internet chose empathy over gossip. Messages poured in. Praying for your family. Stay strong. We're with you. Even without details, the love was overwhelming. The moment that made them collapse. Then came the scare, the moment that nearly shattered them. Monitors spiked. Doctors rushed in. Cardi screamed Stefan's name. He stood frozen, eyes locked on the tiny figure they loved more than anything. Minutes felt like hours. When the doctors finally stabilized the baby, Cardi collapsed into a chair, sobbing uncontrollably. Stefan dropped to his knees beside her, holding her face, tears streaming down his own. They had come this close. A fragile hope. The days that followed were slow, but hopeful. The baby began responding to treatment. Small signs. Tiny improvements. Each one felt like a miracle. Cardi started talking again, softly, lovingly, telling her baby how strong they were. Stefan stayed close, never leaving the room for long. Fame didn't matter. Football didn't matter. Music didn't matter. Only this. A love tested by fire. Through it all, something changed between them. They held each other tighter. Spoke more gently. Loved more intentionally. This wasn't a scandal. This wasn't drama. This was real life, raw, terrifying, and deeply human. Where things stand now. The baby is still recovering. The road ahead is uncertain, but there is hope. And for the first time in days, Cardi smiled. Just a little. Stefan squeezed her hand and whispered, "We're still here." Broken heart final words. Sometimes, the strongest people are brought to their knees. Sometimes, love is tested in the quietest rooms. And sometimes, tears aren't weakness, they're proof of how deeply you care. This story isn't about headlines. It's about a mother, a father, and a baby, fighting together. Disclaimer: the following story is purely fictional, created for entertainment purposes only. Cardi B and Stefan Diggs left in tears after what happened to their baby. No one was prepared for the silence that followed. Not the fans. Not the inner circle. And certainly not Cardi B and Stefan Diggs themselves. What began as one of the happiest chapters of their lives, filled with laughter, late-night whispers, and dreams about the future, suddenly turned into a moment that shattered their world. A joy the world never fully saw. Behind closed doors, Cardi and Stefan had been glowing. Friends noticed the change: softer smiles, longer hugs, quieter conversations. They spoke often about family, about building something that would last beyond fame and headlines. Their baby wasn't just a symbol of love. It was hope. Cardi would place her hand over her belly in silence, smiling to herself. Stefan, usually the confident star on the field, became gentle, almost fragile, when he talked about becoming a father. He recorded voice notes for the baby. He planned names. He dreamed out loud. "This is our blessing," Cardi whispered more than once. The day everything changed. Then came that night. The calls that went unanswered. The rushed drive. The hospital lights that felt too bright, and too cold. Doctors spoke in careful tones. Nurses avoided eye contact. Time stretched in ways neither of them could understand. Cardi held Stefan's hand so tightly her nails left marks. Stefan kept saying, "It's going to be okay, it has to be." But deep down, they both felt it. Something was wrong. The moment that broke them. When the words finally came, they didn't sound real. Complications. Unexpected. Unavoidable. Cardi collapsed into tears, raw, uncontrollable sobs that echoed down the hallway. This wasn't the fiery Cardi the world knew. This was a mother in pain, grieving a future that had been ripped away without warning. Stefan didn't cry at first. He froze. Then his shoulders started shaking. He turned away, pressing his forehead against the wall, whispering apologies to a baby who could no longer hear him. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." A love tested like never before. Grief doesn't always bring people together. Sometimes it pulls them apart. But in this moment, Cardi and Stefan clung to each other like lifelines. They cried together. They prayed together. They sat in silence for hours, holding on to memories that barely had time to exist. Cardi later admitted she felt empty. Stefan confessed he felt helpless. The world outside kept spinning, news cycles, social media, rumors, but inside their bubble, time had stopped. Fans sensed something is wrong. When Cardi went quiet online, fans noticed. When Stefan skipped interviews, people started asking questions. No flashy posts. No jokes. No celebrations. Just silence. And silence can be louder than any headline. Speculation ran wild, but neither of them spoke. They weren't ready. Some pain doesn't belong to the internet. A private goodbye. In a small, intimate moment away from cameras and fame, Cardi and Stefan said goodbye in their own way. A letter. A prayer. A promise that their baby, no matter how briefly, changed them forever. "This love still counts," Cardi whispered. Stefan nodded, tears in his eyes. "Always." After the tears, healing didn't come quickly. Some days were harder than others. But slowly, step by step, they learned how to breathe again. They leaned on each other. They leaned on faith. They leaned on the idea that love doesn't disappear, even when loss arrives. Their bond, once playful and passionate, became deeper, more grounded, forged in heartbreak. A story of love, loss, and strength. This isn't just a story about tears. It's a story about how love survives tragedy. About how even the strongest people can break, and still find the strength to stand again. Cardi B and Stefan Diggs may be icons to the world, but in this moment, they were simply two parents mourning a dream, and holding on to each other so they wouldn't fall apart. And sometimes, that's the bravest thing of all.
거짓말처럼 하늘을 날며 어느새 제주 바다가 내게로 와 있네. 다른 나는 아래를 쳐다보고 있겠지. 묘한 짜릿함 그 속에 머물다 보면 어느새 제주 행비행 신비한 세계로 나를 이끌고 거짓말처럼 하늘을 날며 어느새 제주 바다가 내게로 와 있네. 있어. 아래엔 간혹 도시가 보이곤 해. 그 도시에는 또 다른 내가 하늘에 떠가는 비행기를 올려다보고 있겠지. 난 하늘을 보고 또 쳐다보고 있겠지. 묘한 짜릿함 그 속에 머물다 보면 어느새 제주행 비행 신비한 세계로 나를 이끌고 거짓말처럼